told y'all that I had went to Jamal Bryant's church a couple of times when I was back home, round there to the Baltimore. Child, now he down here in Atlanta taking all you bitches' money.
Hello, back home. See this brother winning, man. Hey, look, what is it, win, baby? What is it, win, baby? What is it, win, baby?
Well, hello there, love bugs. Hello there, Bellas. If you have not already done so, please remember to like, share to Facebook, subscribe, and visit uptopbeauty.com. And if you are not already a part of our book club, please hit the Patreon link below and or the join button here on the YouTube. And for a small monthly fee of $5, you babies, yes, you can be privy to all the shenanigans before the YouTube gets it, if the YouTube gets it. Now, let's continue talking about Anita Pointer and Prince Pointer fairy tale, The Pointer Sisters family story. Now, before we get started, I misspoke the video that was released Wednesday. Okay, I interpreted the phrase shooting up as doing drugs. You all are on my arse about correcting me. I don't have no problem with being corrected. None at all. What I think was that I had already put in my mind that there was a Pointer sister that did drugs. So when Anita Pointer said that June Pointer was shooting up, that's what automatically snapped in my mind. Drugs. The first album, The Pointer Sisters, 1973, went gold. In those days, a gold album meant something. Nowadays, you have to be triple platinum or better, but back then, a gold album was really remarkable, especially for a first album. The hit single was Yes We Can, Yes We Can. Ooh, we can make it work. I know we can. That's my shit. They sang that on Soul Train. Ooh, them girls was giving it. Them was some tall bitches. The hit single was Yes We Can, written by Alan Toussaint, a great lyricist. We found this song on a Lee Dorsey album and took it to David and told him, this is the kind of song we want to sing. It had been on an album of Dorsey's years ago and had such a great message. The first album, The Pointer Sisters, was recorded by genius engineer Fred Cotero in early 1973. By June, it had sold over 500,000 units. Gold. It hit the Billboard charts on June 23rd, and Black radio had still not touched it. They didn't play anything until the single Yes We Can, released in July, was on the Billboard charts in August. It just wasn't the kind of music they were playing. They were playing Honeycomb, the Jackson 5, and the Supremes. We were something new and different. We were not only known for our voices and the stage performances, but our fashion was becoming increasingly popular. We certainly didn't have a wardrobe assistant and just wore the antique clothes that were now a part of our everyday style. They were clothes we used to play grown-up in as children. Things we found in old trucks at our relatives' houses. So let me say this. One thing I will give the Pointer Sisters is that they have always been fashion forward to me. And I, myself, have known that I've had a different style of fashion pretty much since probably like 13. You know, like I wasn't afraid to do certain things or put certain things together. I wouldn't say I'm quite Erykah Badu-ish, you know, because I'm not fitting to wear a pair of boots that's shaped like a horseshoe. Okay, I can't do that, or a cow foot. And I love to dress in a certain era. So sometimes I wake up, I want to be a rock and roll star. Sometimes I want to be Lucille Ball. Sometimes, you know, it's just whatever I feel in that moment. And I applaud the Pointer Sisters for having the courage to be different in a world that wants to put all black artists in that Motown box. Public reception was amazing. Yes, We Can landed at number 11 on the pop charts, and Wang Dang Doodle landed at 24 on the R&B charts. David used some of the most talented musicians in the business: drums, Gaylord Birch and Ed Marshall; guitar, Willie Fulton; bass, Ron McClure and Dexter C; plates and piano, Tom Salisbury and Norman Landsberg. The backing band on Wang Dang Doodle was the Hoodoo Rhythm Devils. We went on a club tour with Dick Gregory, a concert tour with the band Chicago, did television specials and performed in concerts and clubs before starting work on our second album. The fall, June, turned 20, and a European tour was planned for January 15th to February 3rd, 1974. The crucial business of the tour was divided into 3 key performances: a private promotional party in London, the MIDEM concert in Cannes, and a public concert in London. We first performed in London at the opening of the Rainbow Room of the world-famous trendy fashion place called Bibas. It was apparently the toughest kind of invited audience: well-oiled journalists and blasé musicians. Rod Stewart was there. In the past midnight, passion. Grab your baby so tight, passion. In a kind of paper, passion. Hey, some people ain't right, passion. You know I don't know the words to that song, but you know what? I know what the fuck I'm talking about. And the Faces, Ron Wood, the Kinks, Ray Davies, Traffic's Jim Capaldi, and Neil Sedaka. June was especially nervous that night, but from the moment she began singing Cloudburst, handling the triple-tonguing tempos with ease, trading scat solos with Bonnie, Ruth, and me like bebop trumpeteers and saxophonists, everything was all right. We were on our way again. Scheduled to do only 3 or 4 songs, we did 5, and we were called back for an encore by a sincere display of howls and shrieks. Good for you, girls. Then it was back to the States. We sang B or Bay Mir Bist Du Schkon. I know you bitches down in the comments, y'all gonna tell me how to say it, because that's what you hoes do. We sang Bay Mir Bist Du Schon on the Pat Boone television special One More Time with Patty Andrews, a singing sister from another generation. We talk excitedly about our 40s inspired hairstyles and clothes. We had an instant connection with Patty because she said we were bringing back fashion that she had pioneered 30 years ago. It felt like the Pointer Sisters were here to stay. Before we knew it, we were hired for our first major appearance. It was to open for Paul Anka at the 60 million Caesars Palace Hotel and Casino in Las Vegas. Ooh, Vegas. Ooh, let me tell y'all something. I think the best thing in the world is to go see a person perform in Vegas. I've seen a couple of comedians perform. The best show that I've ever seen in my life was Janet Jackson, the #1 show. If you have not ever done anything in the world, #1, go to Vegas. Okay? #2, go to Vegas and see a show if you can afford it. I myself, before this COVID thing got out of control, had planned on seeing Diana Ross in Vegas, but then the COVID hit and everything got canceled, baby. And y'all be careful, because you know my wife is a nurse. She's saying that them COVID numbers are going right back up. When we arrived, we couldn't believe how beautiful it was, and the billing was impressive. The Pointer Sisters in letters the size of small person emblazoned right below Paul Anka on the marquee. We were going to be paid $100,000 for a 2-week gig. Dad had not made that much in 22 years as a pastor. Now that's a nigga. This must have been way before Creflo Dollar, child. This had to be, okay? Or way before Jamal Bryant, right? But anyway, I told y'all that I had went to Jamal Bryant's church a couple of times when I was back home round there to the Baltimore. Child, now he down here in Atlanta taking all you bitches' money. And it was Represent Your HBCU Day, child. He is such a bad child. Me and my Judy, who graduated from Howard, and of course, you know, I graduated from the University of the District of Columbia, HBCU. Some of you hoes don't know that, but yes, it is, okay? But we were there, child, and let me tell you what this ninja had on. Man, did he have on a sweatshirt tucked in his pants so he could show everybody his Gucci belt? I was just amazed at his Bama-ness. So when Anita is talking about that's more money than my father made in all the years, girl, you mean to tell me that congregation wasn't even paying your daddy? And then when his health started failing him, them hoes kicked him out on his run. However, our excitement faded when the opening night audience greeted us with near hostility. The headliner, Paul Anka, had to come out and say, now, you give these black girls a chance. There was also a personal crisis that threw off the act. The day we were to open, June would not come out of her hotel room. Physically and emotionally exhausted, following the almost month of touring in Europe, she locked herself in her room and would not come out. Not even after we sent for Mother, who was flown down to plead with her. She would not make the opening curtain. Suddenly, songs had to be dropped, choreography adjusted, arrangements rearranged, and the show that remained, according to one critic, was more suited to a small club stage than the cavern that is the Circus Maximus. It was difficult for everyone because we already knew the crowd was not welcoming, and then we had to hastily change the show at the last minute. It was not the recipe for success, especially for a group just starting out. David remembered it well. Sometimes it seemed that the story was about June and how she didn't show up, etc. But this was not the deeper story. We were all exhausted, but the Caesars engagement was the biggest payday we had ever had. I'm going to say this. I am hard on my younger siblings because I will not allow them to put forth nothing but their best. And knowing me and how hard I can be on my sister, I would have probably dug in her ass so bad. I mean, so bad. You know, it would have been rough. Even my little brother, I'll check him. Wait a minute, what the f is going on here? What is happening? Address that now. I'm telling you, I'm rough as a big sister. We really needed the money. When we arrived at the hotel the morning of the day before the opening, our hotel rooms were not ready. Not even the special VIP suites for the sisters. One of the many mistakes I made that week that caused some of the problems. I'm glad he's owning up to it. In my inexperience, I didn't realize that the talent booking department at GM of the hotel could have straightened it out in minutes, which they ultimately did, but it left us even more tired. I had hired a Broadway choreographer for Steam Heat, especially for the Vegas crowd. We scheduled a rehearsal for the nights of our arrival to make sure the song would be ready for the next night. I underestimated how exhausted June was. I was insensitive to her fragility. At least Paul Rubinson is owning up to it. In my desire to make the show great, I pushed them too hard, and June finally cracked and walked out loudly. My next mistake was to blame her and not empathize with her and understand her history, of which I was unaware. I went to her room and she was in bad shape. She had what was sometimes called a breakdown. Curled up in her bed, uncommunicative, her sisters came to see her as well, but she was not reachable. We decided to call their mom, who flew to Vegas immediately. June was taken by ambulance to the airport, took her back with her to Oakland, where she was admitted to the hospital. I now realize how fragile she was and had always been, and also how much responsibility I must take for her breakdown in Vegas. If you have not already done so, please remember to like, share to Facebook, subscribe, and visit uptopbeauty.com. Now remember this, the same people that you meet on the way up will always be the same people that you meet on the way down. My naysayers, my patron loves, you babies. Y'all have a good one. Peace.